not getting thrown just, so you're not prepared. So you can get someone just swing on it. That is completely out of shot. So at this point now you've done
organised criminally minded gang would have too much common sense
Sure.
at home
Yes.
to take down a policeman.
Correct.
But they might well think, let's take out the doorman of this club, put our own doorman in, put our own drug dealers in, make a statement to the town, this kind of thing. So when you're dealing with not the same criminals, but you're dealing with them on different terms. It's the parameters.
And in this statement, I guess where I'm getting at is that we're kind of joking and we're laughing and we're having this, but the intensity level that I believe that Andy was put in is he was put into situations where you were thrown, everything was thrown at you, and so you had to be prepared. And I think one thing that we're going to go over in a couple of minutes is one move that you found that was successful, and it was putting kind of a boxing jab as a fake, and then going in for the right hand. And we're going to show that technique in a little bit, and Andy's going to teach it to us. So now you've become a bouncer or a doorman. You've developed a prestigious business as well.
That's right. I started my own company as a result of being successful. People follow someone who's successful, who's good at what they do.
Sure.
So I was able to start my own company in partnership with someone else, and supplies door staff to pubs and clubs. So in that sense, things picked up again.
And then they picked up again. And now you're back at the high level again.
Back at the high level.
The high level again. And then what happens?
And then, in the meantime, I hadn't stopped drinking. I hadn't really matured.
Okay.
As I should have done.
Sure.
So, a guy, a doorman, punched my daughter in the face. Took the law into my own hands. Okay, so let's just recap real quick.
You're a judo champion, and you are a police officer in your past. You've been a prestigious doorman, so you've been in a lot of fights. And someone punches your daughter in the face, and your reaction is...
My reaction was to go down there and sort it out myself. My reaction should have been, as a former policeman, to call the police.
Call the police and let them handle it.
That's right.
However, that wasn't what
that wasn't what I did.
And what was that? So you go down, and your daughter tells you this is the scenario. And you're down there.
She's got a black eye, and
So you go down to the pub, and you handle business in your name. And with that, I guess that we're going. I'll go ahead and elaborate because the story is not something that, and when I smile, I don't mean it as something that's funny by any means. However, they didn't realize who they were dealing with, And then I say this in the most respectful manner. You went in and pretty much wrecked house. So at that point, again, you used your judo skills and you used all these different skills to defend yourself out. What happened as a result of?
As a result of that, I was taken to court. I was given 12 months, which was harsh, given the mitigation that my daughter was assaulted, but taking into account is the fact that as an ex-policeman, I should have known better than the court felt that I should be made an example of.
Sure.
Now I felt that was harsh. I thought, no, I'm an ex-policeman, I'm not current. I'm not on the payroll. You're not paying me to be a policeman.
Sure.
But no, so I got the full sentence.
And so you get the full sentence.
Yeah.
And so you spend time now
for fairly what I would consider mild injuries. It wasn't the injuries weren't severe.
They weren't severe. Now, what got you in though, you had mentioned to me before, was you had seen the guy, and even through all of that, it was you'd actually used a bar stool and to actually hit the gentleman that was there, or was it a judo throw, or what was this?
Well, initially it was a judo throw.
Okay.
To take him to the floor.
Sure.
Then other people became involved, as I suppose people are apt to do when they see their friend judo throw to the floor.
Sure.
So I ended up having to deal with
Yeah.
quite a large group
Okay.
who were trying to get me.
Yeah.
They
Okay.
were trying to take me down. There
Okay.
was 6 or 7, and at that point I picked up a master.
And at that point, chaos happened to
Chaos
success.
happened. As you said,
To success.
that's- yeah.
So now you're on both sides of the law.
Yeah.
You spend some time in prison, and you obviously are put into situations then. Now you're out, and now you start rebuilding again.
That's right.
Because at that time now you basically lost your successful business. So where does that take you? And this kind of takes us, I guess, if now we're sitting here, or what I call here in Thailand, Fighters Row. There's gyms all over. So we tend to get to meet interesting people that have amazing stories that go from difficult times to success to difficult times. However, since it's such a fighter's world, the common ground we're having here is basically either a self-defense or the fight world. So you retracted back to your
That's
brain,
right,
which was chess, am I right?
Yeah.
And then now you're back going, what can I use in the fight world? And then where did you go?
But from there I went into mixed martial arts.
Okay.
I came to it late, I was 36,
Okay.
so that was against me.
Okay.
I had a good initial winning streak of 3 fights, and that took me to the number 3 spot in the British heavyweights.
Okay, so then you took the
So again,
number
we've
three
got
spot.
another high.
Absolutely.
This was going really well. At that point, what I needed to do was go and join a pro camp in one of the big cities.
Okay.
And take on some of the new skills that were being introduced in the UK. Bear in mind, in 2003, it was in a very primitive stage. People were just learning to jiu-jitsu, they were just learning to wrestle.
Okay.
So my judo stood in a good step, but I needed to evolve rapidly. The guys who are successful now evolved rapidly. I didn't.
Okay.
I had a losing streak. Against
Guys, I mean, maybe you can give some guys names.
Does James Thompson ring any bells?
So James Thompson, UFC.
He's a UFC, not UFC, but Pride veteran.
Oh, he fought in Pride? Okay.
Yeah. He's got wins against Don Fry, he's got wins against Ishida. He gave Kimbo Slice a battering for 2 rounds. I don't know if you've seen
Okay,
that.
yeah. Okay.
He's just off a win against Puccinowski, the world's strongest man.
Okay. So the guys that you fought weren't guys...
No, John McGuire, who's just won his UFC debut.
Unfortunately, when you stepped in with having the judo championship and things like that allowed you to have some good fights.
That's right, yeah. I wanted, I mean, with judo, the keys, with judo, it's all about fighting the best. You know what I mean? Win or lose, fighting the best.
Sure.
Now with MMA, that's the same attitude that I had. I'm not convinced now, with hindsight, it's the best, because in judo you're fighting the best and not getting hurt, you learn it.
Sure.
In MMA you're fighting the best and you're learning, but you are getting hurt. So it's not a path I would advocate, but it's the one that I took. I just sought out the biggest names that I could. The British champions, and said to the promoter, can you get me a fight with that guy?
And then so you took it. So where are you at today? Where now you've taken MMA, you've gone from learning all these skills from a young man, and I go back to chess because I think a lot of this game in either Muay Thai or we're talking Jiu-Jitsu or we're talking Judo, there is a chess game that's involved as well.
Very much so.
And so now here we are going back using martial arts and chess. And where are you at today? What is your next leap, I guess?
Right, well, I finished my MMA career. I stepped back down after fighting John McGuire and fought a sort of lower caliber. I fought 4 times in cage rage.
Okay.
That was the biggest show in Europe. Maybe the 3rd biggest show in the world behind.
I'll make sure to put up your cage rage fight on there as well. So I'll put that on there as well.
Yeah.
And so now you've retired it.
Retired at MMA. I'm running an MMA club.
Okay.
My son's the
In
best
Britain?
In Britain.
Okay.
My son's the #1 Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu exponent in Britain.
Okay.
And one of the best in the world.
Oh, really?
Yeah. In the purple belts, he came second in the Mondials.
And what's your son's name?
Luke Costello.
Luke Costello in Britain.
Yeah. He's Britain's best.
Okay.
Jiu-jitsu. So, I managed to pass on some skills.
Sure, you gave him a little bit of.
The things I learned from judo, which were to get good instruction,
Sure.
stay out of the comfort zone, and start early with the things that I was able to teach him.
Sure.
And also to believe in yourself, to believe that you can be a champion.
That you can at the very beginning.
Yeah. And again, the rule of judo, which is it doesn't matter if you lose, that applies to jiu-jitsu. Again, because you're not going to go. You can fight the best.
Sure.
You can lose. You can a bit like a PlayStation game. You play
play
the game. If you lose, you don't put it down and say, well, this game isn't for me, I've got no ability. You pick it up and survive a little bit longer.
You've said that a lot, and that's something that I've learned in Thailand. A lot of these guys have 300, 400, 500 fights.
Yeah.
If we look at their record in the States, someone has 15 fights. If he has, 9 losses and 15 fights, you look at him as maybe a bad fighter.
Yeah.
When you go into other countries that I'm finding is that